Well, I am super excited to have Matt Kuzma with me today. Matt is our COO at First United Methodist Church, Chief Operations Officer. Matt, welcome. Thank you for being here and being with us in our church family. COO is a big title, means a lot of different things, a lot of different people. What are some of your responsibilities in that role with our church family?
Well, David, it's really an honor and a blessing to be here with you tonight and also to be part of this church. I feel it's really been a terrific time. I've been here over a year.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and I guess we figured one COVID year is like 7 church years.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
been,
at least, yes. You've earned your stripes for sure.
yes. And so the Chief Operations Officer is responsible for a lot of the behind the scenes and operations work. So that involves the buildings and facilities at both campuses, both at Winter Park and the Reeve Center, also human resources, marketing and communications, plus all the administrative support in the office.
The financial records, the financial processing, all the rest.
Yeah.
So you really have a necessary ministry that supports the church's foundation of all the ways that we work together. And so I'm just really grateful for the breadth of that job and the work it takes. And you have a great team underneath you, and you're doing a tremendous job with this. So thank you. So one of the things that you're also involved in is that you are the grand poobah of COVID. You are the buck stops here of reopening. You are the guy in charge about getting us back together, and we're getting ready to be back together in person for worship. And then from then on, we're already back together with the preschools are back in season, and Studio 150 is back, and now we're talking about youth group is doing off-campus meetings, and then we're now talking about in-person worship. So I'm going to ask you some questions about getting back together for our reopening.
Sure.
So I want to come. I've really missed being in church. I've missed people and be with my family. Do I just show up? I mean, what happens? I just come to church on Sunday?
Well, I wish it was that easy. We do have we do have some restrictions on how we want to approach this, and it would really start with safety. We want everybody, every member, every staff person, every volunteer, everyone to be as safe as possible. So we've taken our time a little bit to make sure that we can do things as safely as possible. And so one of the ways we're going to do that is for worship, to have live worship. We'll have registration. It'll be online registration through Realm.
Okay.
And that's for a couple reasons. So one, that we know who's here and how many are going to come each week, but also for contact tracing. Heaven forbid that someone gets sick or tests positive with COVID, we would then be able to contact everyone that was at worship the prior Sunday and connect it and let them know and to advise them to take care of themselves.
Yeah, it seems like an extra step because, whoever thought of having to register to go to worship, but it's for the safety of those who are coming that we know, who to follow up with, but also know how to plan. And I think we're starting these next couple of weeks to have a few people in to help us work on some of our processes and make sure we're safe. I mean, can anybody do that? Is that like a limited list or secret, or how do I get to do part of that?
Well, for the next couple of weeks, we like to test things before we really, go full bore with it. And so our real goal is to have worship at both services on November 1st. And so we're starting this week at our contemporary service. We'll have 20 people, and that will be by invitation. And the following week will be at 11 o'clock by invitation. And we just want to have a small group to make sure that our process works as we bring people on campus. We want to be safe. And then the 25th, we'll have groups of 50, and then we'll have 50 people in each service on November 1st. But we change things around a little bit.
There's no secret to that list. Yeah, it's no secret to that list. It's just volunteers that are helping us work on making sure we're safe. And if I want to be a part of that volunteer that's to come in and be a part of that beta test for us the next couple weeks, I can just call the office for that. There's nothing magic formula. We're just trying to work on our processes and appreciate people's grace. So I come to service. I'm assuming it's going to be just like before. I'm going to come back and church is going to be the same. get to go wherever I want, sit wherever I want, just hug and kiss on people.
Well, we kind of know like nothing's the same the way it used to be. And so we have really have tried to streamline our process of getting members on to keep everyone safe. It'll start in the parking lot. We'll have everybody will come in through the courtyard for whatever service, come in through the courtyard. We will check them in. We'll do a temperature check. And then a host will direct them to the worship area, to the Family Life Center, or to the sanctuary, whatever service it's for. And then there'll be assigned seating. And that's part of registration. So we'll know what size groups are coming in, and we'll have chairs set up, and so people will be sat in assigned seats. And it unfortunately may not be where they've always sat before. And
so that's my pew. That's my pew. My name's
well,
on that pew.
We might have to skip that. In fact, in the sanctuary, we'll have every other pew. 12 groups just to maintain 6 feet social distancing. So that's what safety is really driving everything we're doing.
Right. And I think the conference has guidelines on the number of people that we can have in worship right now. Is that correct?
Yes, we follow CDC guidelines, and then the conference is even tighter than that on some things. For example, the guideline is 25% of seating capacity. So the Family Life Center holds about 400, so we can have up to about 100 there. The sanctuary can hold more, but we're shooting for 100 to be in the sanctuary for the traditional service.
So I'm coming in a certain way. I'm signing up. I'm registering, coming in a certain way. I'm signing in when I get there. Temperature check. I'm going to a specific spot. All this is designed to help people as safe as possible. Now that sounds like it's going to require some volunteers. We on Sunday involve a lot of volunteers, from those who greet people at the parking lot, to those who greet people at the door, to those who usher, and those who help in the different ministries. And so we need volunteers, correct, for this next couple of weeks?
Yes, we sure do. And that's really for a couple of reasons. It takes a little bit more, a few more extra volunteers to do service this way, because we'll now be escorting people to their seats, and also host, and also checking in folks. We also recognize that there are maybe traditionally have been volunteers, but may not feel comfortable being on campus. And so that we are really looking for the whole way that this works is for us to have volunteers, people that are willing to check people in, to help just direct them, to usher them to seats. We definitely need volunteers to make this work.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. By far, the number of churches that I talk to that are back in person are not having even 50% of their full attendance yet in this season. And so we need help, and we would love to have folks come out. I'm so grateful for those that are willing to put other people's needs ahead of their wants, and to greet and to serve. And that's really the theme, I think, of coming back to worship. I'm willing to take these extra steps and wear a mask and socially distance and come in a certain way and register and volunteer to help others find that connection and that experience that they need in their spiritual journey. So I'm so grateful for that. I register to sign up, or I sign up to volunteer by the website, or
yes, there'll be links there. It'll register through Realm, and we'll be sending out invitations for the first couple of weeks. After that, watch for email, all the communications, the electronic communications we get from the church. We'll have links for people to be able to register whenever we're ready to open up for everyone.
Great. Well, man, I appreciate all that work that's gone into all this pre-planning and meeting hours each week with the staff leaders and meeting with the council leaders, and then all the other responsibilities in the fall. So tell me, where have you seen God's presence in the midst of this pandemic? Is God still with us at this time?
Oh, he sure is. And I really see it every day. First of all, with our members, our members continue to participate in the live streaming worship. It's a new thing. 6 months, we're back in January, we didn't have this, and now we have become pretty good at being able to have a live streaming service. We have small groups that continue to meet virtually, and also from the generosity of our members. So I see God in that. I see God in our lay leadership that continue to meet, whether it's the trustees or finance committee, leadership council, staff parish, all the boards and committees that work directly with our ministries, the family council. They are still active and engaged in supporting our ministries. And finally, through our team, our staff that have been there, some are, the facilities team has taken care of their buildings and cleaning MSEE, whether it's the teachers at the preschools, some working from home, some on campus, but they continue to work to support the ministries of this church. And I see God's hands and feet every day.
Mhm. Mhm. Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you for that. So tell me, you have family.
Yes, I do. Charlene and my wife Charlene and I have been married for quite a few years. We're college
Mhm.
sweethearts. And so
How about that?
it's really been quite an adventure, quite a journey that we've
Mhm.
been on. We lived in several different states. We have our older son, Matthew, and his wife, Cindy, live in Chicago. And our younger son, Lucas, lives in Los Angeles. So we're spread all across the country.
And you have puppies, right? You have furry friends?
Yes, we have two grand pups. We have two rescues, Ruby, and our latest addition is Arnie. He's a little multi-poo. And so we just rescued him recently. So they keep us pretty busy.
Well, and you're a musician and a talented musician, guitarist. You've been up front at different services to help lead us in worship as well. And so you continue to be a blessing to us. I deduct points for you being a Penguins fan, but we'll get through that. We'll work our way through that. But Matt, thank you for all that you do and all that you are in this season and the way you continue to reflect God's presence in our family. And just glad you're with us.
David, it's really a blessing and an honor to be part of this church. And I'm just so grateful that I am part of it here. And we're going to do the best we can every day to further the ministries of this church.
Great. Well, I will see you at church this weekend, and take care and God bless until then.
Thank you.